What's up, everybody? It's your favorite ballroom icon, JackMizrahi from the House of Gorgeous Gucci, and welcome to another edition of Jack's Commentary Corner. In this corner, I will be examining different aspects of ballroom, different battles, different categories, some history, and maybe some worldviews, Let's talk about it. But I hope you all enjoy. We're going to take a look back at the grand prize that was contested for the Oldway $15,000. Oldway first time ever at the Alpha Omega Ball, which contested this past February at the Knockdown Center in New York City. What you're about to witness is go straight into the battles. It's icons. There was a winner in each division. And I missed the tens of the legends and icons, but these are the first battles, and these are my thoughts. So check it out. All right, here we have it. So this was the last tens I was able to get. I got a little bit of Jovan coming up. I was trying to get the camera up to the runway so Alvernian can host, as you can see him there, and he's snapping his fingers, he's happy. But I got a little bit of Jovan. I got Andre's tens, the chop, and the whole little section, which you'll see in a prior or in a future video. But coming in the back, being carted out, you can see they put him down before they got to the steps, but he was brought out on the platform. It is newly crowned icon Dabrian Balenciaga. Dabrian made his career here in ballroom like in the 2000s. He came under the tutelage of the Milans, Jamal Milan, who is an excellent prototype of the Oldway. Floyd Milan, another one of the great ones, like the Milan dynasty, Cliff Milan, the Milan dynasty of Oldway, Dewan Milan. You cannot, they were not to be played with. And although Dabrian has his own style, his own techniques, but Dabrian also did learn from them. And he took that lesson and he became his own force to be reckoned with. So the outfit asked for you to bring us a fashionable, inspired look from Egypt, and he got his tens looking good, and now he's waiting for what would be his first battle. He was the last legend to go ahead and get his tens. So good job, Dabrian. So what you're about to see right now is the iconic Tim Princess. Tim comes from the House of Princess, he is now a Lanvin. Again, another classic who's learned and watched from the greats, Andre Christian, Richard Ebony. He falls right into that grace. And if you ever get a chance to see footage of the House of Princess or the Vogers from the House of Princess, like Jared, may he rest in peace, the hands, the fluidity, the precision, they were just super crisp, and Tim still holds that. His first battle is to be with Javier Ninja, who we all know Javier is also an icon, come from the famed House of Ninja, performances in his blood. My only question for Javier walking and getting tens for the icon legend segment of the Oldway is that I personally remember Javier really only being proficient and really contesting only in the New Way arms control, hands performance. So the Oldway is something new I felt like he started, dabbling in. So I felt that he should have walked into the non-legend sector. But, it's neither here nor there. Judges sit on the panel and they don't question and they don't ask because everybody construe everything as shade. But, had he had been in his proper round, the outcomes could have been different. Had he been in his proper round, Tim Princess would have met somebody else or battled Jovan. We would have got a different battle. So here we see Jovan now battling. And they are going at it too, like move for move. I wish we could have seen that a little closer. Okay, it's Dabrian and Jovan. A little fast for me, but it goes depending on the beat. Remember the essence of the Oldway, born from pop, dip, and spin, the elders and the people who were phenomenal for this category were not moving at rapid speeds. They were giving you poses. They were popping. They were spinning. It was just such a different presence, and that's what it is. I think these two are voguing. I'm not seeing too many repetitive moves, but it does seem a little fast and manic, and it could have been maybe because they were playing Bango Bango or whatever they were playing in the back, but for me, I just felt it was a little too quickly. Dabrian is still voguing, and Jovan is off to the side doing his thing, waiting for their scores, and now they're all up in the judges panel. Look, nobody needs that. We see you better when you're back there, all up on top of me, afraid you're gonna knock something down, afraid you're gonna spill my drink. We don't need that. Jovan is really not having it. I love this effect. And what I thought was really crazy for everything that he had on, for him to have been able to go back and change and come back and walk best dressed. So kudos to him. But he has been winning this category for a while. If I'm correct, I want to say he learned from legendary Tony Ova from Virginia, because Javon did spend a lot of time there in his Chanel days, if I recall. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But yes, you could see, and you could definitely see they are learned, they have watched. So Javon stays for this battle, and this would be it for Gabriel. Now, our next battle looks like it's going to be Javier Ninja versus Andre. Again, and I had the first inclination about the same thing about Andre too, but then I do remember I was gonna say no, Andre Pradapt, no, but Andre was a pop dip and spin legend, then event got New Way legendary, and then kept moving on. So since Pop and Dip and Spin was the predecessor of the Oldway, he definitely fits the mold. Again, classic moves, good moves. Andre's precision is never to be played with. If anything, he prides himself on is being able to catch a beat and being able to be precise and crisp. And he still is. And I think for the both of them, why, I mean, they would meet each other, and of course one would win and one's going to advance and one's not. I think what happens here is that we have seen these two individuals so many times on the floor before, whether it's LSS or competing. There was no big element of surprise. You know, we know the moves, we know the crispness. And I think when you're looking at big categories like that, yeah, the person who regularly walks it should be always on the floor, right? But I think it's also that person that you ain't seen for a while. And it doesn't matter really, because we saw last year, Stasha walked for the first time in Lord knows how long at the coldest winter ever ball, and her team lost. We saw Whitney haven't hit the floor in about, a decade plus. We saw them lost. So it's not always that, but the element of surprise and not always being seen is a big thing. So Andre would take it over Javier. And then now we have the battle that was destined to be, which is Andre's going to battle Javon. You can see them hugging in the back. And again, that's Andre's way of letting him know it ain't shade. What just happened with me and your father has nothing to do with you. I don't like that cartwheel. But that Kenzai dip was nice into it. Legs should be a little straighter than that. I almost killed myself doing a cartwheel in the summer 2 years ago, playing with Christian and Carlos in the park because they dared me to, and I did 2 back-to-back and paid for it. Kenzai dip is good. Classic moves. Andre's playing with the beat right here. Javon is showing his elasticity. He's going back into a third Kenzai. Yep, he went for it again. And that's the thing. You battling so many times, and sometimes in that battle, you listening to the beat. I'm sure there's so many more moves in his repertoire. Now, here's another thing I don't like, and it's not just with Javon. He looked great, like I said, right? It's him talking to the judges while voguing. This is this practice that I've been watching lately, whether it's runway, whether it's female figurillas, whether it's face. People got to tell the judges something that they don't already know. Let your performance speak for himself. That last little comment, I'm not saying that's what he's doing here. I'm not saying what he's doing, but it's something that I see all the time. And I'd be like, please let your performance speak for itself. There's a lot of girls who win based on that last little smart comment. It wasn't your realness. It was because you have a smart mouth. Same thing with the last dip. You didn't do nothing in all those counts before, and you hit that last little spin, bam, shablam, and have the crowd going, and you win. But Javon stays. He'll meet in the next round, and it's about to be a nasty little session on the way to 15K. So, in my opinion, these Legends battles were okay. Nothing spectacular. Nobody did anything out of the ordinary. I mean, the most high energy thing to have happened prior to that was the chop. It gave us something to talk about, and these performances didn't. But congratulations to all the ones who had the nerve to walk and who did it, and I'm proud of you.